Hello, my name is Zombie Zero. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. In the previous session, we kicked off our day 2 court portion, and things got a little bit interesting. We cross-examined our client, Sister Iris, made contact with the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. Got a lot of information, and then not Edgeworth, wrong prosecutor. Gotta decide to throw one more monkey wrench into what I figured would have been the end of the trial, considering that we solved a lot of missing portions. So let's get back to it. The prosecution's ready to call our final witness. Final witness? It's gonna clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Indeed. Is it really alright, Mr. Prosecutor? Of course it's alright, Madam Attorney. Very well then. Who is this final witness? Isn't it obvious? Just one person who saw the whole event and put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder took place? The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes. You mean Maya? She can't testify to what she's just been through. We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand. Very well. But first, we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Faye to recover before summoning her. Once we see the doctor's permission, we'll proceed with the trial. Hey Trey, I got something to say to you, so listen up. What is it? I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you. Man, you got some nerve. That's not gonna happen this time. This time, you're gonna have to do this by yourself. ... exclamation point. That's enough. This court is now in recess. February 10th, 2:56 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 1. I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me. But I was missing all day and we didn't even have a chance to talk. Well, she's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the sacred cavern. I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on. Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did? And Nani? If you tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there. My sister, I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either. Yeah, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it? Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. I always always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her. Alright, talk about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago. Yes, I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But, as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister Valerie ended up... And that was the case, I wouldn't be so badly. But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder. Some people? You must mean... Yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting to... Okay, now the dots are connecting. I figured it was a lawyer. I didn't think a particular lawyer of him, probably. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth. Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You. That's right. Iris, there's one more thing I have to ask you. Yes, what is it? On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, at least to Exum, was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. And around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. Beep. I got in the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple. But the path to the temple was cut off, right? Exactly. It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her bodysuit. She wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was a staff. Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on a snowmobile. But why did he alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know the staff was a murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the Shido. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground.
And his name is Jusice.
Also John Cena. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Also your first roll, congrats. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. I see. Okay, so we know the staff is the murder weapon. Defendant. Yes. Judge is calling you. He wants to see you he wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne. Alright. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you. Okay. Something she wants to tell me. Also, legend, you're second. So it's true. Iris corroborated with the real killer. Maybe even from the very beginning. Phoenix? Mia? How's Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case. Isn't there a guilty situation should be added to the murder? I mean, probably accomplice at the very least, but we still don't know who's the one that's pulled all these strings to begin with. I'm not sure if that's within the scope of this case or not at this point. You don't mean she learned who Elise Exum really was? Yes, I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure the answer out by yourself. Trial's about to restart. The real killer? Do you know who it is yet? Also, legend, please. It's because she challenged Maya and in her defense, but I imagine we're not gonna have Maya's help for this. I mean, Mia's help for this. No, Iris couldn't tell me who called her, but still. I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the inner temple. And the criminal wasn't just there by accident. Which means the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. And one more thing. The victim was moved to Hazakura Temple site by pendulum. Uru. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day. Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day. That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win or lose. Okay, I got it. Thanks, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me. All by myself. AKA we're probably bound, also to be continued in a few seconds. As always, I'm like, a couple minutes off from where the cutoff point would have been for that part of the trial. By like about 14 minutes probably. Either way. February 10th, 3:36 p.m. District Court, or number 7. And now then, before we proceed any further, I'm gonna announce the results of the test we had performed earlier. Right, the dagger. Yes, yes. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Well, Phoenix may have forgot about it, but I didn't. That's the weapon that Mai Fei used when she fought with the victim. So what were the results? Was it the victim's blood, or Due to time constraints, that full test is impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on the dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. And now then, let's just start the trail. So was it Misty's blood on the dagger? Then whose was it? I mean, it's a possibility at this point, Rebel, but again, we're not entirely sure. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution knows this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some further evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Agreed. Fair now. Please begin the last witness. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. Her profession is, I'm the assistant manager of Wright and Code offices. I felt bad for Maya because, again, this is like the third or fourth time she's been either accused of murder or on a witness stand directly. Long story, Rebel. Long story short, there was some sort of switcheroo after the bridge was fixed, and there was some switcheroo after the bridge got fixed and Edgeworth brought in Sister Iris. Spirit possession sort of happened, and Maya possessed the spirit of Jolly Hawthorne to prevent getting killed. But there's still a lot of unknown stuff that happened on the day and the day after the incident from the inner temple side. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium with a killing challenge technique. I'm frightened. The Fae clan? Don't want any more to do with it. Pain about the Fae bloodline causes must be unbearable. We don't know the full details. We know that we know Jolly Hawthorne's spirit was channeled and tried to kill Maya at the inner temple. And we also know that somehow after the confrontation between the two, that with some quick thinking, I managed to channel Jolly Hawthorne's spirit that was unconscious to prevent Dahlia from killing her. But we don't know, again, all the details. Now then, Miss Faye. When the event occurred, you are in the guardian of the inner temple. And you witnessed the moment that Mr. leads to Exon's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see. Straighten up this instant, young lady. Huh? Keep your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you could do to change that fact. There's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out, you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. At the inner temple. It still feels weird we're cross-examining Maya, of all people, since usually she's our assistant. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me." Then something warm smashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. So you're stuck in the head. I suppose it must have been the staff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was jolly a hawthorn, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. Just couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems that would be hard to determine the criminal through your testimony alone. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. Who else was on the inner temple site that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edward met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then did Iris actually come later like she said? Well, let me think. Well, she seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. Well, who did it? Who hit you? Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind. Didn't see the person. But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. Well, I had to press.
What? No! What's happening? No! This isn't right! This isn't right!
Well, Matt, this isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person? Well, I think it was, right. It was dark, that's it. It was dark? It's not good to have too much light around when someone's undergoing spiritual training. When I think of it, there was certainly a testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the climb. Why she didn't see her attacker? Thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not. Judged by the testimony, it does follow the identity of the attacker that's most likely. Spirit that was channeled by at least Suexum, Dahlia Hawthorne. Now, please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head? What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape, I think. You think? After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around my mind at the time. I don't know, this is beginning to get interesting. So what were the two things rolling around in your mind? My name is Maya Fey, and 1 + 1 = 2. See, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was gonna lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was. It's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what did you do then? Unravel 6 + 7 = 6, 7. It's a number, but not the funny number. Also, you may need to brush up on your math skills. Just saying. You think you screamed, but you're not sure. Listen, I was a complete wreck, Baka. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Anyway, my dear, I'm certain I would have sold my robes. Would you please? I thought that the attacker might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that was my last hope. I would assume after the bridge caught fire, probably. What was she meant by last hope? Wait a minute, Maya. Was this my last hope stuff? What do you mean by your last hope? No, that's what you said. You said my last hope. What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, help me. Yeah. But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Well, you know, that's like, what do you call it when it happens? Maya's not doing so well up there. Oh yeah.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. That's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming to for help. Huh? What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. Nani? Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person? I meant to keep that part a secret. I done. It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure? You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up and try to hide things in this chamber. Witness to information you just presented as files to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I could see a man behind my attacker. Okay. Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see. I should use this excuse twice now. Well, you know, Lantern light isn't very bright. The lantern light, you say? There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when acolytes start for training. Hey, you know what they say? Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. Actually, no, I have my contradiction right there, actually. Objection. So, there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's a killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Jusice to Exum. Otherwise known as Missy Faye, your mother. The killer? Maya? You know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Light? Well, to be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed a huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya? On the night of the crime, the stone lantern was out of commission. Nani? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden at night. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That's the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe alouette. Cafe alouette? Is that even legal? Mr. Trey swears at the milk near the spoon. Your Honor. I'm a spoon? I'm not spooning bought, I have you know. What's the notice it too, Trey? This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Objection. Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it. What did you say? If this truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction to witness's last bit of testimony. Nick? May I? Recall witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or child, or a woman, or an adult or a child. And yet, the witness can describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have meant that Maya actually saw a mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. Order. What does this all mean, Mr. Light? Are you saying this face saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection.
Trey, do you have any idea what you're proposing? Look at you have seen in the dark. There was no other light source at the scene. Objection. There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. You did see who the killer was in the dark. And now we're trying to cover for them. Cover for the man that killed her mother. There's only one conclusion I could draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. Took a good game try. Let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please, stop. And Maya's dead set on protecting the guy. The man who murdered Maya's long lost mother. I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. Alright, is it right? Trying to show us what you got.
And his name is John C.
It's totally John Cena, yeah. I know, it can't be Larry, but it's obviously not Miles. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on this fact, but I have a hunch. Take that. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense official requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. This is... but it can't be.
Dying on my hard cry, man. Completed.
That was a nice bit of deduction. Right. I distinctly remember that detail. And also the fact that Godot has night vision. Now, that somehow Godot was... Actually, no. That's all I concluded I could come with it now. Well, everyone. This is the man Maya saw the night of the murder. Order. Prosecutor Godot. What is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? Got a question, ask a witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night, was it 3 glowing red dots? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya? I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. Or a totally different reason. Not me. Witness, this right? What type of chatter you got her? Chattering. It's worth acts a witness. That's one of my rules. Alright. Well, then let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize until after I woke up, but the killer. When I came to, I was just laying there on the train hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone. And all the snow around the steel lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I need to apologize. It's as Mr. Goddard said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, didn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. He said I proceed with our cross-examination. I was also going to say that on the first day of the court, we also did not deal with Godard. We dealt with Francisca because Ezra called it a favor. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about Godard being the murderer, but this entire case has been a number of plot twists, so I would not be surprised. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right? Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed. So then the person that carried you into the inner temple, it could only have been the killer. That's what I think too. So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would a killer tamper with the crimson like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. I don't know. Because I didn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. The torches were lit. Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed. I'm gonna say I was a killer that the torches, but who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, then there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? It's true. Hard to say how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would have gained anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Okay, now let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? Didn't look real odd. The snow was removed in a natural looking rectangular shape around the lantern. There were a lot of shelves around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use. Odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take Stole away? Oh, and there's one thing I could think of. Did you say that a lot of the victims bled sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. They area collapsed and ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody stone. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true. He could have just scooped it just the snow that was stained with blood. Also, I'm being told to hide the kidneys, apparently. Like, there's some mysteries behind this issue. And I think this will help explain them. So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right? Yes. But earlier you very clearly stated that. It's still before, It's still for a good portion at night, and then the lightning happened at 10:45 when the bridge caught on fire. So it did snow. I have a picture of that's no, I don't. Just that saying that we already proved that fact. You saw a man behind your attacker. Nick, I'm sorry. Well, killers really went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. For what purpose? Why do all that? Okay. Truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes, I thought the killer was hiding the evidence from me. For my sake. Hiding? Nani? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple tonight. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you've done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened? Yes, I'm sure of it. But that's sadly an important piece of information. Why should you add that to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. They did it for your sake? Well, if the body and the blood haven't been removed, I would have immediately been a prime suspect, right? Yes, I suppose that's true. Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If a real identity had come up right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Curing killed by own daughter? I don't think Maya would have been able to handle that. But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. I mean, the lantern wasn't cleaned up when everything happened, so maybe? Okay, cool. Objection. The body of Elisa Exum was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. They had the garden, the real scene of the crime. The stone that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. What would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Quidot. It's a message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the lantern, the writing off the lantern? Right.
Yo?
Order. But it's tonight. Is it in fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Did not wipe out the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing. So, but if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Also, yo, why would the killer move the body and remove all the snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's the fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Well, Mr. Light, let's hear your opinion. I realize I could easily just push start and save, but I'm gonna wing it. If I get it wrong, then well, it's a 1 in 2 chance, I guess. I don't think the killer wrote it because I want to think that Maya wrote that somehow. And she wrote that so she wouldn't forget. So she wouldn't think this was all a dream or something like that. I have a hunch. And hopefully it's not me just grasping at straws. Prosecutor Godot, early in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you limit the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean they didn't notice it. But it doesn't make any sense. Torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Knight? Well, there's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Again, I have a hunch. I'm still gonna roll with it. Take that. Mr. Godot. Is this what you said yesterday? My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Can't see it, everything. Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This answer was submitted as evidence today. I'd like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. Mr. Godot just submitted. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a red words. You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right, we went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations. I remember that too. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. It's strange. In a black and white photo, these letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So the mystical dots, are you admitting it? Are you admitting you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? It's the reason why I don't drink red tea. I wasn't sure about it until now, but just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot's a murderer? But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time firmly accuses you. You're the murderer of Miss Elise Exum, also known as Miss Misty Faye. It's hard to believe this may be true, however. Once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Just make sure you don't fill out the incident red ink cramps. Come on. How did a little graffiti make me into a killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's red in there. Objection. I'm certain the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, Trey. The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow? The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Could it be? Yes. Killer couldn't see the red blood that seeped into the snow. And so he had to remove all the snow. He couldn't be sure where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Objection!
Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. Torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again his trial's taken on an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? Hold it. Wait just a minute. Maya? What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't killer. After all, he didn't even come to their temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after the old bridge got fixed up. Maya. Can't testify to something like that. What do you mean? I may not look it, but after the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't. I don't follow. He's senile, old man. We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Maya. Do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're gonna hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Trey. But now let's get a witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there at the inner temple too.
Third place legend says objection.
Hold it. I'll see your objections heard. Pearly was also stuck at the inner temple site that night. And next morning she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearly? That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So, when did you hear about this? Just a while ago when I was at the medical office. Terribly sorry. Well, what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. What? Come on. Pearly would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. You're smart, Maya. You always know the best thing to say when you're under oath. Prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Godot. Let's just move on to the cross-examination. The defense has no objections. It's highly unusual, but... well, Mr. Knight. Don't mind me. Again, I'm just breaking the fourth wall. Let's get the cross-examination started. Oh, I was gonna fake. I was thinking it was gonna be like a, do you want to actually cross-examine her? Yes or no? Sort of thing. Yeah, welcome on then. So where do you think Pro slept at night? In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training. But even so, why did she go to the temple in the first place? Well, it seemed that Pro Girls became very worried about Maya. She knew about the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense. Girls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she had to do her temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Wexham. She searched the entire inner temple site end to end. Well, you see, Pearls gets very scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times. The inner temple site has two structures, the training hall and the spare prep room. There's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it. There's a storage shack too. Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully? Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate. So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack. Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge. What do you mean? I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it were me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge. Well, Pearlie said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times. But a little girl all alone like that. But we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne was busy battling with the trick lock. Well, she couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed? So it was your first time on the inner temple side, Mr. Godot? It's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question? Yes, should I please save the questions for the witness? What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touché, Mr. Light. Well, what do you have to say, Mr. Godot? Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If I hadn't been for this case, I never would have visited there. Freezing cold temple in the mountains? I think I'll pass. So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh? Wanna say something, Trite? In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. Well, like cross-examine Maya, that is. Well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the inner temple side, right? Yes, then Mr. Godot. He cheered her up. That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. I was thinking you're nothing more than a coffee addict. Cut it out, you're making me blush. Guys are really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. Truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going up to the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry on an investigation in my own way. Godot style. I'm just the same way. Like to hand down evidence my own way, Uchi style. Oh, maybe I should ask the questions Phoenix style. So you cheer pearls up? I found that little girl. First thing she asked me was about her cousin, Maya Fey. Really? The bridge had burned down and she was held up in that tiny shack with no heat. Even though she must have had a truly terrifying night out there. She asked me about you before she said a thing about herself. Really? I noticed that you weren't anywhere in the temple side. Couldn't find it in me to tell her that. So I gave her my last cup. With milk and sugar to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth. That is a sweet story. He handed a thermos of coffee. Why doesn't it surprise me? There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Gonzalo when the murder took place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed at least to Exum. Okay. So, the other question then. You said you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? Looks like an investigation went about as well as yours tried. After all, I did miss the bloody writing of the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was a beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Fey, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb surrounded by the hues and aromas of Western tastes. Western tastes? Could you find a stranger way to describe bravery? So from there you headed for the prep room? Wait a sec. What did Godan just say now? I think I found this proverbial weak spot. Okay, I think I know what the game's wants me to say. Or again, I could be wrong. And it's the other beauty that he spoke of. No, it's the other beauty he mentioned. No. Oh, sure, aren't that fast. Let me read that bit one last time. I want to make sure. I did present this, right? I did. Yeah. I was thinking maybe that was maybe it. Hmm. Okay, not that. The last part, but it has to be something I missed. So we never visit Hazakura Temple or Inner Temple. Just like I thought. Good dot's line. This, I guess that's what it was. Just one of those I was missing. I didn't look at particular information, I guess. If his first visit to the temple really was after the incident, he shouldn't know about that piece of evidence. Or maybe I had to do that and then I could present what I think he should have known about. So is it that or is it the part before that? Or they probably just started to glance at what's being said instead of paying attention more thoroughly. His first visit to the inner temple really was after the incident. Because I think it has to be that part, and that's the evidence at Godot, I guess in this case. No. There we go. Objection. So I was right evidence, wrong time this time. This was, well, obviously a certain part from yesterday. I mean the other day. Mr. Godot. The first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went to the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll? But Mr. Godot's right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. I know you know who it is, but there's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. I object to that child porn idea. There's already so many buttons you press on a regular basis. I don't want that to be one of them just because of stuff and or things. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was a much more than a condiment to the corporate. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have an idea of knowing that it was Missy Faye. Hold it. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there. Yeah, that's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was a picture of Missy Faye on there. True, but Mr. Godot's described was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste. Oh. Yeah, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he could have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. I can actually just one little thing trade. What is it? This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. That's right. Otherwise there'd be no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan. Nani? What did you say? Yes, and I know why. Take that. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay altered a plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the inner temple. He still insists his crafted killer is me. Well, you bet I do. But you just said these instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Burdock couldn't have known what the instructions were hidden. He really wanted to know. He had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That'd be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center? Yeah, and it could be arranged if you're someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Order. Mr. Godot, you're under fire again. This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you're the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark, yet at the same time, fascinated and bewitched by them. Maybe that's why humans treat the darkness as coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during the jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in a temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. Did all that just to protect his witness? That's right. You're accusing me of the crime. I had to ask you, why would I do this? This girl's nothing but a stranger to me. I had no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I'm certainly not the type to rescue a damsel in distress. Killer's behavior is gently extreme, for lack of a better word. And considering that the killer wanted to protect the witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. Objection. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Aya? I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason now. Okay, try it. I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. My face is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. I think I get it. Take that. Or am I wrong? I may be wrong on that fact. I may have jumped the gun. Sorry. At this point in my life, I'm a lone wolf. Got no connections. Oh, I did jump the gun. Yeah, I jumped the gun. I was thinking maybe he was a jeweler for a second there. I'll take that point loss on the chin. You can say over it, in fact. But Yuboko does straight day, the answer is obvious. See, I was assuming Misty Fate right then. Take that. Okay, it's not that. I'll eat the point loss once. If I eat the point loss twice more, then I'm just screwed by proxy. Or is it a matter of you're right, but you're not technically correct? You're correct, but you're not completely correct. No. I mean, the drill theory is actually pretty convincing, but yeah, no. Okay. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong. Is it just a matter of like it's obvious and it should be obvious, but it's not? No. Well, this is better. It's less punishing than one part in the second game, where if you guess wrong, you go through the entire game over sequence. Maybe. Take that. There's a very good reason why my face life is so precious to you. After all, she's Mia Faye's only sister. Mia Faye. And of course, it's me being oblivious. Again, don't mind me. I'm dead sometimes. It's a fact. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? Well, if your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of the man who calls himself Godot? His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? Last time someone called me by that name. It's over 6 years ago. Diego Armando, that name rings a bell. Well, it should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia's Faye's first time in court. Tragic outcome that left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off the disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Yeah. Can't cry yet. Yeah, that was the one. That was the twist I remember the most. I was moved by her. Why she put all her faith in her clients. Your sweet heart of hers. That's why I never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. He and I thoroughly investigated the fake kidnapping incident. One fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It's been 6 months since the trial. Ran in the courthouse cafeteria. Just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in the courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne steps off some poison into my coffee. The newspaper at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official report ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. Body shut down. I became nothing but a long, deep sleep. The woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight. All my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. It's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle I ever regained consciousness. 5 years have passed since I drank that poisoned brew. Then one morning, my eyes blew open. The smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? The worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. The very moment I opened my eyes, I already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. The woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman he loathed? Now the woman he loathed? The woman who spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. But in the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. It's so sad. Someone like me, someone that stepped away the best days. There were only 2 reasons left to live. It was for those 2 reasons I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? First was you, Trite. And me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would never have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one of us who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It's all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were. So, that's why you became a prosecutor? Another reason for living. She goes by the name of Mia Fey. You mean me? You're the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, the current village incident was resolved. Bobby's Morgan Bay was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. The role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. And that's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. The goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. Well, that makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both my accomplices. Accomplices? Iris and Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye. I especially need the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Faye. But how would you contact my mother? She'd been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. Not what do you mean officially? You heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government. Now that you mention it, Kay did say something to that effect. She said the Master of Curran had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. Police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always... That's why I knew she'd do anything to protect you. Well, I know how strong her resolve was to protect you. Look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The plan was to be carried out right soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. It's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Faye if necessary. Even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother. Died of crime? There was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean pearls, don't you? You had to make sure she didn't challenge Jolly Hawthorne. Right, I remember this. Then we could revenge her playing her part in Morgan's plan. She never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of. That's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dolly Hawthorne into her own body. What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. This Master of Curran, Misty Faye's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dolly Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to. Oh. Donnie, is this true? Everyone the plan was to make sure that no one was going to hurt Matt Faye. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case he needed to be safe with Dolly Hawthorne. It's on. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, right? Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're great at defense attorney. You're gonna have to do the rest yourself. Background leading up to the incident has been laid bare. It's just one question on any Mr. Light. Who killed the victim? Of course there's more. There are only two possible suspects that are now. Maya and Faye. And I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. That's right. You're the real deal. Finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. No, Nick. Please don't. Maya. I heard the whole thing. From my sister in the medical office. That's why. I have to protect Mr. Godot. can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia, and me too. Maya, I know that. Nick? Even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. It doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Miss May, your testimony, please. This is a final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything because, oh no. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Time of the murder. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I asked for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Jolly collapsed and I lost consciousness. The red lights. Thought you said you don't have ever seen them. Sorry. I thought I saw them, but then he disappeared all of a sudden. Things break trade. Even the best of theories. Was it that stabbed Missy Bay? Looks like he still can't prove it. Well, Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Mr. Knight. See the final cross-examination of the witness. Light shining in the dark. I don't think you could make a mistake about that. Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. Can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Godot's mask either. I don't get the feeling she's coming from anymore, but just after that, he turns toward the lights and called for help. Is it because he thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. I can't remember after all. There was a person I couldn't identify in front of me. And Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she could remember the details of the scene perfectly. That blood. Was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood? I think so, probably. Just at that moment. I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice. So that's when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon? Is that right? Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a real dangerous situation. Anyway, the victim was stabbed with a murder weapon. What happened after that? Struck back? How do you know that? Well, you're right, I didn't see it exactly. But I could tell by the sound of the breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood. The witness more harder than any young lady should ever have to have one life. So then what did she do at the point? I couldn't move. I could just barely make out the shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do. Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier? Yes, I think so. But they went out. Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all. What could it mean? Well, the red lights are coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of the fight. Maybe the mask was damaged. Or maybe it was knocked off. Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right. But maybe those little red pinhead looking lights just stopped working. What could have really happened then? What do you mean by just at that moment? You mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yes, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. Nani? So then the scream came from the killer? It's gotta be it. I think Dahlia and Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. Did the killer ended up screaming the pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Of this alright? It seems to make sense to me. No. I think it's the other way around. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. Makes sense. I don't know, actually that almost certainly never connect. Well, remember the testimony she just gave, before the killer let out a scream. Why said she already been splattered by the victim's blood? In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Is that right? She couldn't have been struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream. It must have been something other than the staff. If you're so sure about that, don't keep us waiting any longer, Trey. Well, there's only one thing I could think of that could have been used as a weapon. Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff. Easy. Take that. Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. That's right, I almost forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found it this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer of this. And she managed to wound him as well. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he's wounded. For all we know, the blood of the victim could have been from the victim. Objection. You forgot the blood's already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must have been the killer's. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood of the dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of blood would prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood. A steer trait. Order in the cart. This is Cyan. Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Let me ask you something, Trey. Just to say it turned out that I was the killer. You really think I'd be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? Donnie? Just think for a second. This dagger was found in the morning by the detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one that brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes, and what does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and implanted a person's blood on it. Can't be. In any case, just one thing I can guarantee, Trey. That blood doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. Hey? In any event, it seems to establish that the killer is wounded. Alright then, continue your test. Hold it. Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya? This dagger said that it wounded the killer. That's right. But if Mr. Godin had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes. That solved the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all, Baka. We're back to the day of the murder. Everyone else on the inner temple site got trapped there. That's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godal was already there waiting for them. He'd never have a chance to change his clothes. Or in the court, with the witness objection. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted that the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? Did I take the smart pills during the last recess? Well, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on him. It's a possible trait. You know, Coda gets up there at night. Yeah. After a few minutes with no clothes on, he'd be frozen solid. So that's all you got? I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Of course. Right now, me and Faye were here. Me and Faye were here. She would have closed the book on this case already. Me and Faye were here. Come on, Trey. Can you do it or not? About Mr. Knight. You've accused Mr. Godin of being the killer. Don't mind me just saying me because I'm pretty sure game's not impossible for me, probably. Okay, a little bit. If you even got one piece of evidence. Question isn't whether I can prove it or not. Fact is, I have to prove it. It's the only choice I have. I was taught as one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm gonna bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it. Good. Fighter to the bitter end trade. Just one piece of evidence that could prove your point. Why don't we go? Oh. Of course, they bring back this gimmick. Why don't we go for the ultimate unlimited penalty? Trying to pressure me, Bristol Godot. It doesn't matter to me. Got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You got nothing, Trite. So what do I do at a time like this? Simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright, Mr. Knight, let's hear what you got. There's one thing I demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded, and now was ruined by the blood and the dagger. But we decided it was possible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he'd been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing. There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Hidden? Okay, this is it. My last stand, I just need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there are no blood stains in his clothing. I need to show how he hit the wound. It's the end of the line. Why don't stop try it? Let's hear what you got. There's a location where you say the killer hit its wound. Did he have the dagger on him the entire time? Take that. I don't know what you're talking about. Frankly, I don't need to know. That was a wrong answer, wasn't it? It's not a right trait. Well, it looks like he threw in one thing. They are nothing but a fake. Fun while it lasted. No, I'm gonna have to just see that part. Alright, fine. Of course, it has to be this gimmick. Okay, well, say from there, we'll have to. I'll have to think outside the box for this. I don't even think about why there's no blood stains. Show how he hit the wound. Of course I can't. It really is an entire gimmick where I can't save myself from having to see this entire part. I do like this, this press music now. It feels different, but I am also stumped. Probably not it, but wait, we have it there? No, I don't. Okay, I think in the interest of time, because I'm pretty much gonna be almost at the end of the line for myself, I'm gonna give myself a hint. Cause it's gonna be something stupid like the last game where it's something that I wanted to get someone's face and couldn't. So give me 1 second. Of course, it's a blade trick question. Well, at least I know. I guess somewhat of an idea because the game says his mask was damaged, maybe? But still, that's a stupid reason. No offense. Also, I'm gonna close this so I don't spoil myself for if there's any decals past that point. Take that. I don't know what you're talking about. Frankly, I don't need to know. Tia knows that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Is that right, Trey? Said just now. Yeah? Can't be. You're living on through him? As we speak, you're still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask. During the fight, the red lights given up by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Gazette, you mind removing your mask? You have a dagger wound under there somewhere. I'd say this whole case is solved. Was not expecting that. Also, like I said, the same exact dumb stuff as the last game where it fakes you out into thinking you messed up, and then you see the option part and you realize something must have happened after seeing that bad end for like multiple times. Not a fan. Anyway, just now, I saw her spirit in you. ... question mark. I never liked you. 6 years ago. You're not the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, let Mia die. She didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You may have the nerve to follow her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. But I thought. Mr. Godot. What's wrong about you? I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find in my heart to forgive was me. Yourself? You yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. Hid beneath a mask, I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being the defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, that was the plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? You listening, Maya? I really wanted to save you. Then there's one person I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and Butter. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason? No, why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Nani? I think I was just trying to salvage what was left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. I let you walk right into a situation I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. Really, for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night in the darkness of the garden, I saw a silhouette. Part of me was to know the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Halter standing there in front of me. It could have been Missy Faye, even that little girl. I still picked the blade. It's like I was streaming. Not sure exactly what's going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect my Fae? Or was there something else? So my hatred for a woman who'd stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? Now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. Finally realized I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, fantasy. Stupid fantasy defeating you in the courtroom. You're the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from me, Staff. Instead, picked up where she left off. As a true defender of the people. Objection. I mean, that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godin. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Mr. Armando? I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Thanks. Your wound is bleeding. Forget already. In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be tears. Tears? Since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment. Mr. Armando? Do you rather remember this, man? The only time a lyric could cry is when it's all over. This time, it's really all over, isn't it? Defendant. Yes, Your Honor. So you weren't directly involved in the murder. Tampering with the body and the crime scene itself is a serious offense of itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Fair enough. While I hand out my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there's one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize to me? For what? For the case 5 years ago, of course. Just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own oven? Well, not exactly, but yeah, it's something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was gonna do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. Two of you? You hardly knew each other. What do you mean? You and my sister. You only met twice. Huh? We only met twice? The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria at this very courthouse. The next time we met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day she stole your cold medicine. Doug Swallow was killed. No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman I thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. Huh? It wasn't Dahlia? I hope one day you could forgive me, Beanie. You? You mean... That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. Why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave me the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely. So that's why you... My sister? From the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought you might just somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already has so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. That's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle back from me in her place, but I couldn't get you to get it. I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed as something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. A bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime and she would confer to you with you. I think she must have noticed. Noticed what? My feelings for you. If I had found out that she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life or mine. Iris? After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you changed. I have something to say to you too. Yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Jolly Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you. Thank you. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. Tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so? Phoenix Wright. Yeah, I think you're right. Also makes me wish I had copyright by now. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim leads to exile. At some point I expect you will be tried for your role as accomplished in this case. I understand, Your Honor. You know, on the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Confetti, I think. Or not. Well, just not adjourned. February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 1. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended was justice really served. The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Well, of course justice was served. Mia? I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cares so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you could learn from me. Mia? You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia? I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix. Well, I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. And Nick? Maya? I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia, what did she say? That night when I challenged Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But, come on, cut out with that gloomy face, Baka. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick. Maya. Just, how can you be so bright and chipper after all that happened? You were brutally attacked and saw your mother murdered. How? Francisca? Still softly as always, Phoenix Wright. Excellent work, Wright. Mr. Edgeworth too? When did you get back? That's right, I guess no further in on that. Well, Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me. Helping you? Well, these two haven't been here on the first day of the trial. The defense wouldn't have gone anywhere. No, but where were you, Nick? I heard he found two Reverend caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth, and you too, Francisca. I don't suppose there's room for me in this group hug, is there? Oh, Larry. What's with the, longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of use to anyone, not even once. It's not true, right, Nick? Oh, I mean, just chronically saving, as I tended to. You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it all true? I've got a place in this world, right? Yeah, of course. I knew it. I'd be better off if I was gone for good. No, I mean, yeah. Those orders you paid, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edward? What? Me? Making that face, Haji? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't state that resemblance. You really mean it? What about me, you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too? A beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. Now stop glaring at me, my Faye. So then you'll do it, like you promised? You're gonna model for my next picture book? Francie's... Ow! Don't get carried away. How about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. Painting a pearl is pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Don't you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya. Oh well, go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearly. Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you're wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that's happened. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Francisca? That's right, she lost her father fairly recently as well. I can understand how she feels. Maya is such a much wiser person she appears, and I think she realized something. It was exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can. Maybe by now is exactly the time. Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone else hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's that for that person that Maya's trying her best not to cry. I can imagine now. Andrew, if I think I'm starting to understand too. Ow. Tell me, Phoenix Wright. Simple. Take that. Pearl Faye. Poor kid. After all, the reasons that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Faye clan, and I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya, and that's why she was so happy. Aw, I remember that. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. Good times. There's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Faye's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. That's exactly why Maya's putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh hey, so this is where y'all were. Yeah, as I grab the punch. Ow! What was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own. What's up, Detective Gumshoe? I know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just kinda gone down by a teeny weeny bit, but it's alright. I made a reservation at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Pretty good work, Scruffy. What was your reward? Detective Gumshoe. You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean... Dress bien? Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep making waiting, pal. Hey, Crybaby, you're invited too. Forget about me. Her and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes. You know, it's taken an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Maya, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearly? I can't find her anywhere. Donnie? I'll bet she just went back home, that's all. I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one's heard from her. It's never happened before. Figured she's been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that's befallen you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. I do. Said the gum show. Yo, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls. Nick? Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely get Peter. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're out. Very well, Phoenix Wright. We're going ahead. Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't. But should we look? Where could a Pearly have gone? Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I could think of that pearls might have gone to. February 10th, Hasakura Temple main gate. Hasakura Temple. For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. Gross, this is where this whole incident started. Oh, what's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister Bikini? I thought I'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pearly's here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Pearly's not here. Maya the hangs girl. Someone's cleaned it off. It's gotta be pearls. Yeah. Mystic Maya? Pearly? Why? Why you just leave like that? Mystic Maya. I swore that I would never trouble the Tubi ever again. Cause it's all my fault, missing Maya. Maya's mother. That's why you came here? It's the least I can do to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother's gone. How do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie to me just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here is at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there when I needed them. It's all I can really do. Mystic Maya? I'm impressed. Truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini. Your mother, Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Karen, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Vi is always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me till the day I die. Aww. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me till the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die? That's the Master's Talisman. The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important, but rather the contents. That's a photo. Oh. Matter. Well, it's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life's worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Aww. Even when the battle's over, and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. Well, should we get going? Everyone's waiting. Oh. The day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna make a brand new start too. Teacher Bikini, I'll be back from our training, I promise. I know, I won't go easy for you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back. Alright, we're gonna have a great feast today, probably. You know why? Because training's a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya, I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get and probably don't want to, but what is it, Nick? Well, reservation for training's fine and all, but why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time, get trained right alongside us. Nani? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Nani? It'll be great, Nick. We're gonna do the special course, naturally. That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I could just say one little thing. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then, goes nothing.
Objection!
Objection. And that was fun. I'll say my thoughts for the end as always. I really have to work extra hard now. Master Curran, office manager of Frantical offices. You have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or anything like that. Well, we'll see, I guess, Maya. So it's true. Mystic Nick really is Mystic Maya's Knight's shining armor. We through the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret reservation. Earl's Place. Or more like Pearl's Way, if anything. Make it brought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off. Yes, but somehow you don't seem the same. Guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat was just more detective-like, sir. Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. I think I prefer the older coat, if anything. Just right, I'm once again your dad. Thanks to you, the current exhibit was a great success. And we got to see Miss Von Karma, who I haven't seen for almost a year. Jamal used a whip and said I must show you what I've learned. You can pass on the demonstration, please. It's a nice startup company called Master Mass Consulting. Dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is cut it out, please. Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to the criminals as kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. I think we're maybe the word of words. No thoughts on that one. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him 500,000 and a tea set. A special thick tea, one I mixed with my own two hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win to compromise. Well, better the curtains or walk down a dock, I guess. Just owed and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy, crowned nose waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. Grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old, nice, and I cry like a baby with a dirty diaper. Also, no comment. But you have grandkids, so. Little things, I guess. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Egg. I do hope everyone gets along. His name is Adam Bada. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. You do you, I guess. My. War reporters. This summer we've made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. Can't wait for Iris to come back. Wahaho. As long as you fix the inner temple, I guess. Or the bridge, one of the two. You turn into such a respectable man, Beanie. Sweet of you and everyone else to come visit me here the other day. Of course, I'm happy you constantly had your eye on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one stabbed you so hard you got a nosebleed. Yeah, that would be Pearl's. It felt good to at least have Miles Edgeworth for like a second or two. or at least have like a sea air one, more or less.
Objection.
The Godot twist, though, I was not expecting. Both pre and after. And also Francisco. And this guy in his big toupee. Or lack of hair. Alright. What's this? I'm back from a long time vacation. No one's here to greet me. Guess I got my little whippersnapper buddy quite an up down by myself. In a lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? But of flashing lights and switches, I feel sort of like some sort of space alien. Now what I'm gonna do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back for everyone. Yep, that's your background, I know. Rat-a-tat-tat. I finally found something I love to do. Fancy's whippy trip is gonna turn our world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist, a really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. Clarice, please. If that's still what you call yourself. Okay, that's not a bad portrait. I really well understand, but you're a good portrait artist, Larry Butts. Also, nice other portrait too. That's pretty much it. 2 achievements popped up. One for clearing up the last chapter, and the other one for making it to the end of the trilogy. So my thoughts on the trilogy, it was very nice to finish up something we started at least 2 years ago. And well, going from that 2 years ago, going through all the cases, I heard that final one was sort of feature stuff with the Apollo Justice trilogy, which, who knows, we might get to at some point. But I feel like Trials and Tribulations is a nice little bow tie to sort of conclude stuff that happened in the first game with DL6 and the Fake Land, as well as Morgan Fay and what chapter it was. Oh, chapter 2, episode 2, and like clearing up everything involved in them. I think overall, I think I see the appeal of why Phoenix Wright sort of branched up past that to Apollo Justice, and I want to say there's also the Edgeworth investigation stuff as well. Yeah, it was a very nice game. I just wasn't a fan of I was a fan of the twist and everything. I just wasn't a fan of like the last 2 parts of the final episode, but yeah, that's all I really have to say. So my thoughts on the trilogy as a whole is I enjoyed it. I want to say the hook for me personally was probably episode 3, Turnabout Samurai, and especially the episode 4 with DL6. Yeah, that's all I've really had to say. So we'll go on to a new game at some point in time, but for now, this is Zombie Zero signing out. I will see you next game.